unless I really needed them. Never in my life have I did that. For the most part, I have great respect. I know that. And, I just try to help people. And, my main goal right now is to keep my children safe. I'm tired because I haven't been sleeping. Is to keep my children safe. That's my main goal right now. If it does happen to your family, remain calm. You do not have to fuss back with them. Don't give these bad officers an opportunity to hurt you. You don't have to respond back to them. In fact, you can tell them that you want to call a lawyer. Because these officers, some of them, and I'm not saying all, because we got some good officers. I was so happy when I saw Deputy Owens come up, because I know Deputy Owens is going to make sure that he does his job and does it in a way that all are safe, himself and others. So I was glad to see Deputy Owens. But this Candor cop who came up and he needs to be checked for real. This is not the first time that I've seen him off his wire like that. This man has literally sat and told me that he was raised by the most disrespectful woman, his mother, that could ever be. And he said some of the things that he did to his mother. So I knew the first time I had a run-in with him, which wasn't a bad run-in for me. I was there assisting somebody else. I knew that he was off then in his head some. Because he was still thinking that his mother was doing stuff to him. I think we need to get a policy that checks a lot of these officers' mentality, their mindset, because I know officers go through things at home too, because they human too, so they're gonna go through some things too. But when you bring it to the job and lives are affected by it, that's when you know that you maybe need to step down from that job. If you cannot control your temper, if you do not have any self-control about yourself, then you don't need to be an officer. You don't need to be an officer because you're already mad. You're already looking for somebody. Okay, my connection had went out. So what I'm going to do is what I was saying is that the people in my town, a lot of them don't know that I have a lot of sense. And I sit back and I watch what goes on around here. I watch the officers and I also watch the people around here because I'm a writer. I'm a skilled writer. And I'm a radio announcer. So I use my platform for good. I don't use it for just anything. I use it for good. And what I'm seeing is that we have a lack of officers who are trained to handle mental ill patients, who have no training when it comes down to how do you talk to the family members of a mental ill patient. Because certainly you would not call them a sack full of rats on acid if you knew how to talk to the family. You would not bring in your personal sayings and quotes to your professional job. You would not do that. But however, you did. It wasn't me. You did it. And you know about me being sick too. I mean, That was the last thing I needed to hear. That was the last thing I need to have on my mind, was that we just got called by officers a sack full of rats on acid. So I am going to do what I have to do to get the word out there, because we didn't deserve that. We was only trying to save my son, who is a father and a nephew and an uncle. That's what we were trying to do. And if any of you see my Facebook post today, underneath my name, Jamie Bowden, it says Candor Police Officer Barry Lemonds called us a sack full of rats on acid. And I'm going to let that sit. I respect authority figures, but this was uncalled for and very unprofessional, especially while there's an attempted suicide going on. And they wonder why I'm upset. Because my son was trying to fly off that bridge, and you're calling me a sack full of rats on acid. You're calling my family that, because we're trying to stop a mentally ill child, 23 years old, mentally ill, who is currently awaiting a bed in one of the mental facilities. So that lets you know how serious the crime was. Well, not crime. That lets you know how serious the situation was. Because he went in that morning and we're still waiting on a bed today for him. This is disgusting. It's below humanity to tell somebody that, who is already going through. Something needs to be done. And that's all I had to say about it. And I'm going to go and try to write my notes and stuff out, because I do keep notes of everything that goes on, just like when my son got beat by the cops, just like when they put him in jail and knew he needed to be in a mental hospital. I have notes on all of that. And eventually somebody is going to hear me and help me. And this is going to help other people, children too, and family members. I have nothing to gain by putting all this out here, except for the only thing I have to gain is that people will have the justice that they deserve, that they will have the peace and help that they deserve. You are paid to help us. You are paid to protect and serve, to be a problem solver. That's your job. You're paid to do that. And what problems you can't solve on hand, that's what court is for. But to disrespect and name call while you're on duty out of your jurisdiction because you was out of city limits is wrong. All right, y'all.